to us.
Whoop, I see a gun.
Talk to us, Katie.
We need that.
That's awesome.
Okay, what's me?
You gonna do that now?
Yeah, I'm gonna put the door on here.
You want to
Get your phone down.
You're gonna give me having a blast. Okay,
Hey.
what?
Hey, watch this.
There are 5 technically under me, and then I'm still in charge of another department. And then with the 5 that work.
Who are you talking to, though? Hi, Katie. You ready for the flash?
Well, still been fighting fires?
That's some pretty good ones.
Let's open
Right.
it.
Wow.
Let's
Shut it,
open
open
it.
it.
This thing.
Oh,
It's a clock.
How did you know I need a new clock in the kitchen?
We just knew.
I'll have to put that one in the living room. It's so pretty. That's familiar.
His family.
This is why I don't. She does when I get it out.
I can.
We'll be fine.
Can they hold her?
We're gonna go to bed, okay?
He fits one.
Key and spelled it that way. Now, he said some people spell it K-E-Y-E, but if they spelled it K-E-Y, he would start telling them that story and they'd finish it because they'd heard it. Because
Oh, really?
He believed that they were all descendants of that one man.
The executive vice president who runs this office, her last name is Key.
Really?
Her father-in-law is a doctor, and he was a doctor here in town for years and years and years. And he's still here in Clifton. He's, of course, retired and everything. But she's a Key by marriage. And they spell it K-E-Y.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
they're
they're kin to us.
The sibling closest to him was 3 years old.
Yeah.
Well, right after they got to America, the mother passed away.
Oh,
So he married a lady who had lost her husband
yeah.
and had a son. Well, Uncle Joe took on our last name, even though it was not his last name.
Huh.
And then they had my grandfather together.
Yeah.
Okay. Then my dad has a set of cousins, and it was kind of the same thing. Once they got here, they each lost a spouse, and then they incorporated the family, and they took on the man's last name.
Wow.
So,
Isn't that
but-
unusual?
a facial reconstruction of what they think the man looked like, of the bones they found down on the river. They found the bones in the 70s, and the exact locations 11 miles downstream from Whitney Dam. They found the bones the first part of the 70s and sent them to the Museum of Natural History at the Smithsonian. And they did the carbon dating and the research and found the bones to be 11,000 years old. And that he definitely was not American Indian, he wasn't Caucasian, he wasn't European, and he wasn't Asian. They speculate that they were Ainu people, A-I-N-U. That's a clan of people that live now on an island northeast of Japan.
Wow.
Now those folks are short in stature, and this man's bones measured that he would have been 5'4". So we made his pedestal here with him on it 5'4". Now they determined that he died between the age of 42 to 44 years old. Now there wasn't any evidence at all how he could have died, other than his skull showed that he had 3 abscessed teeth. So he could have died from an infection. Now there was a little girl found in the grave with him, and she was about 10 to 12 years old, and they know that for sure because she had a baby tooth still on top of her 12-year molar. So that's about all we know about the bones, other than they've stayed at the Smithsonian all these years. Now over here, in the sites where they found ancient bones, but only 3 of those sites have had burial goods. And this one so much more than the other one, the other 2, so because of that they think that he was a very important man. Now the seashells, that was a necklace around his neck, and the turtle shells were under different parts of the body, under the shoulder area and the pelvic area. And all we found about the turtle shell was it was just a symbol in ancient burial, meaning going back to Mother Earth. Now over in the corner, stone over those bodies, and they had cut those stones in the fashion of a turtle, so they were buried in an ancient turtle tomb. Now back in March of last year, Al Redder was honored here at the museum by the archaeologists at the Smithsonian and also the universities, because they all believe that these folks were the first people in North America. So it was a very important find. Now we have about an 8-minute video that Al Redder does. He was just a lay archaeologist.
hugging with your baby in the last row of the balcony. Well, there's Chick Fuller and the cinema scoop, cast out of Hollywood, and popcorn from the candy stand makes it all seem twice as good. There's always lots of pretty girls with figures they don't try to hide, but they never can compare to the girl sitting by my side. Saturday night at the movies, who cares what picture you see? When you're hugging with your baby in the last row of the balcony. Well, there's Chick Fuller and the cinema scoop, cast out of Hollywood, and popcorn from the candy stand makes it all seem twice as good. There's always lots of pretty girls with figures they don't try to hide, but they never can compare to the girl sitting by my side. Saturday night at the movies, who cares what picture you see? When you're hugging with your baby in the last row of the balcony. Oh, Saturday night at the movies, who cares what picture you see? When you're hugging with your baby in the last row of the balcony. Well, Saturday night at the movies, who cares what picture you see? When you're hugging with your baby in the last row of the balcony. Well, Saturday night at the movies, who cares what picture you see? When you're hugging with your baby.
We were taking pictures. Granny's got a little dab of blue bonnets in her yard. Did you see them? Well, we had the baby laying out there.
So I said, okay, I'll see if I can. So I started writing on this thing. Well, I know how to type and stuff like that, but I can't go fast enough to keep up with my thought process. So when I may write a whole poem in 10 minutes, but I just scribbled it in. I've got scratch pads and stuff laying all over the house. That's so I don't have to jump up. And so I'll write that stuff down, and then she would try to decipher it and type it out so I could actually read it. So I gave it to her, and she was in our little office area, and I was sitting in the den, and I heard her start laughing. Well, that wasn't really unusual because when you scribble that fast, sometimes you misspell a word and it may not be exactly what you thought it was. And so every once in a while she'd kind of crack up about stuff like that. So I got up and walked over to the door and I said, what are you laughing about? She said, you know, I've heard you tell this stupid story. No telling how many times, and I never ever thought it was funny till I saw it written down in a poem. so it may not please y'all, but it pleased her. Anyway, this story that man was telling me was about this guy that lived at Muleshoe named Bill Aldrich. So that's the name of this poem, Bill Aldrich of Muleshoe, Texas. How legends grow, nobody knows. There's little regard for truth. Bonnie and Clyde taking down a bank or a home run by Babe Ruth. The strangest one that I know completely astounds and perplexes. About a friend of mine I had one time, Bill Aldrich of Muleshoe, Texas. Now Bill was a quite unassuming type. Contrary to how most Texans are seen, Well, he'd give you the shirt right off the back of his body, lanky and lean. Bill seemed to know everybody, and he treated everyone the same. A mystery indeed, because strangers passing through Muleshoe asked about him by name. His circle of friends kept expanding. Excuse me. They seemed to arrive on the wind. Bill just kept on selling his cattle, and he'd sell a bunch now and then. He had an old friend in New York City who invited Bill to come see the sights, to see how cultured and learned folks spend their days in Big Apple nights. This friend of Bill's, a man named John, had tickets to a banquet room. Mayor LaGuardia was speaking there. In New York, he hung the moon. The dinner over and the speech begun with this man of great fame, stopped, stepped down from the podium, shook Bill's hand, and called him by name. Well, needless to say, that astonished John. He just couldn't believe his ears. Where did you meet the mayor? He inquired of Bill. I've been trying to do that for years. John said, let's go to England. So off to London they fly. The royal carriage comes down the street. Her Highness waves, passing by. She rings the bell, and the carriage stops. And a smile spreads across her face. Why, it's Bill Aldrich from Muleshoe, Texas. What brings you to this place? John's eyes grew wide. Tried to hide his surprise that the Queen knew his friend Bill and suggested they go to Rome for a day or two. When they arrived, to their surprise, the Pope was passing down the way, blessing the throng and moving along. The atmosphere was a holiday. Then to the crowd, and tones clearing loud, the Pope stopped the procession quickly. He said, can this be? Do I really see Bill Aldrich protected and living? Well, John just moved back, kind of faded into the crowd that the pontiff had blessed. He saw this young lad there close by, a native, by the wave of the crest. Tell me, son, if you can, is that really the Pope? Or an impostor with nothing better to do? I don't know, sir. I've never seen the Pope, but that's Bill Aldrich he's talking to. How legends grow, nobody knows. But in the West Texas town of Muleshoe, if you ask about Bill Aldrich, be prepared for a story or two.
And so when I got home, I told Shara, there's no stopping her now. She's got a cell phone. And so he wrote this poem, and she died not long ago, and we decided we just could not go to her funeral because we wouldn't be able to sit there and be quiet and not giggle because of this story. So
It seems in every small town there is someone who knows all the secrets that we have in the Gossip River flow. Facts don't seem to mean much. She can't let truth determine. The events that need reporting, if she doesn't know, she just infers. She owns every gadget made associated with the phone. Of all the sounds she's ever heard, her favorite is the dial tone. When cell phones hit the market, her life reached an all-time peak. On-the-spot reports were easy now. The possibilities made her knees weak. She had it first from unnamed sources, complete with who, where, and when. Her network was the envy of all. Why even bother with CNN? But all things on this earth must end, and one day her heart gave out. We all thought that she'd just choked on it and she'd spread about. The day of the funeral, everyone showed up. All the pews were overflowing. Did she leave behind a secret tape with information worth knowing? The eulogy had been read, the choir had finished singing. The preacher was just cranking up when he heard the phone start ringing. This ringing phone was inside the casket where she lay. It seemed that she was well equipped for her departure day. Laughter rippled through the crowd like waves upon the sea. If the battery would just hold up, she's set for eternity.